So, in continuation with infrastructure, we're going to do importance of infrastructure. That is support system to the economy. So, what is the importance of infrastructure? We're going to do importance of economic infrastructure and importance of social infrastructure. So, let's take the economic infrastructure. So, what is economic infrastructure? Let's take power. So, what happens if there's power? That'll increase the productive capacity, right? Now, for example, if we are talking about banks, what happens when there are banks? They will mobilize savings of the people, and they will bring about more investment in the economy. So saving and investment is facilitated or helped with the help of banks. Now let's talk about transport. What happens with transport? It helps in the movement of goods and services, raw materials. So that's how. And then if you're talking about communication, it helps in exchange. Then talking about social infrastructure, and social infrastructure, we basically take up education and health. Education builds up good skills and knowledge of the people. It sharpens their skills, their analytical power, etc. And health, a fit mind and a fit body is very important for anything. Even if you are knowledgeable or good, if you're not healthy, it'll go a waste. So even so in social infrastructure, health is very important, and a good human resource development or good human capital formation is good for working the economic infrastructure. So I want you to just go through this. So let me just, while you go through this, let me just tell you. So economic infrastructure, as we see, it refers to elements such as which are the support system like power, transport, banking, communication. These serve as a driving force for production activity in the economy. For example, if there's enough power supply, this will help in increasing the pace of production activity. And suppose if there's a good transport facility, it will help the movement of goods from producers to the consumers. And then if there is good communication, it will help in exchange. And then if we are talking about so then we are talking about, say, banks, then they mobilize savings and investments, bring about investment. Talking about social infrastructure, there are elements of support systems like schools, colleges, and for health it is hospitals, nursing homes. And this is for the development of the society in a country. And this refers to the human resource development. And if this happens, then we have an efficient and a healthy workforce in the economy, and a healthy and a educated, skillful workforce will do wonders with economic infrastructure with good. But the thing is that both they are interdependent. That means economic infrastructure and social infrastructure, they are interdependent. They are complementary to each other. One reinforces the other. So that is very important. So for example, let's take quality of transport. Now transport is what? Economic infrastructure. So it bring about, say, a good health care. How? That means if there's a good quality transport, there'll be less pollution and there'll be less lung diseases. So that way it helps. Let's take an example of a good education system. Now, what is an education system? It comes under social infrastructure. Like for example, in that if you have great engineers, so it'll bring about great economic infrastructure. They'll be making of good dams and good airports, right? Power stations, etc. So I just want you to see that we can just discuss this as, again, infrastructure is what? If you can just name a few. roads, railways, ports, airports, dams, power stations, oil and gas pipelines, telecommunication facilities, educational system, health system, sanitary system, the monetary system including banks, insurance and other financial institutions. So what happens? So there is a relationship between economic and social infrastructure. They are interdependent. So say the quality of transport and communication, that is economic infrastructure, can affect the access to healthcare, that is social infrastructure. That means even like if you're well connected to a good healthcare system, you're less scared. Then say air pollution and safety hazards connected to transportation also affect morbidity. That means falling ill. Then particularly in densely populated areas. So this is what we find is the importance of infrastructure and how interdependent they are. And we all know about infrastructure.